my sister finds out?
I don't know. She's not that cute anyway.
My husband and my sister are shown flirting with each other, half naked on the big screen in the conference room. No, what are they doing? I'm sorry, it's something unsightly. I'll turn it off now. I was about to turn off the screen, in a panic when I was stopped by an unexpected person. My name is Luna. I am a 52-year-old hardworking woman. My husband Mason, whom I met through our work, is 54 years old and 2 years older than me. My husband and I both work for the same company that designs, manufactures, and sells cosmetic and beauty products for women. I was in the marketing development, and my husband was in the product development department. It was quite unusual at the time, though, that this company was very supportive in terms of my maternity leave and my return to work after that. This allowed me to continue to do well through childbirth and maternity leave and develop my career. So now we have the title of department head. In contrast, my husband never went up the ladder in the product development department. Housework is for women, and women should support their husband. I have far more workload and responsibility than he does, but I also bring in more money. Despite this, I did all the housework. We both work, and we both have enough money in our pockets. But he was the kind of husband who would not even buy me a single, ready-to-eat meal no matter how late I was running. In addition to that, my husband talks badly about me at work.
We're both so busy working that she doesn't even cook a proper dinner at all. Oh, I'm not gonna just say anything about it. I asked him to iron my shirt the other day, but I was told to take it to the cleaners because he didn't have time to do that. That's why we can't save money in that area. Well, I did it for her. You know what she served for dinner 2 nights in a row? Back from the convenience store. I was so surprised. But you know, I'm a pretty understanding guy.
I was in a lounge at work when I heard my husband talking to a coworker about it. I was so angry. I thought my guts would boil over. Then you go do it all. I wanted to shout. I desperately resist it. My husband is not very good at his job, but he looks nice on the outside. So the people at work also have a good impression that my husband is a good man, even though he's not good at his job, but because my husband speaks ill of me in such a way. I think the impression is that I'm a good worker, but not a good wife. It's no problem. People who know what's going on understand, so I don't have time to go around correcting every single one of those silly rumors. As the story goes, I have a sister named Emery who is 15 years younger. My younger sister, who's about to turn 35 this year, is still living off our parents. She seems to have some kind of part-time job. Of course, I knew my husband would say my sister is so cute and spoiled. She and I did not get along well, but she often came to my house asking me for money. At first, I lent her a little, only a little, but as time went by, I thought it would not be good for her, so I began to refuse.
Oh, sister, I'm running short again this month. Can you lend me $10,000?
Again, I told you the other day, I no longer lend money. You're old enough to know better. Get a part-time or a full-time job.
How you dubbin Sectui a cheapskate?
I'm not a cheapskate. When I refused my sister's request for money, my husband looked at me as if I was disgusted.
Don't be stingy. Aren't you a high-class woman, boss? Demery, I'll give it to you. How much do you want?
What? Really? You understand me. I like you. Mason.
Hey, don't even get started.
Fine, it's my money. I can spend it however I want.
Yeah, stop meddling. Sis is too strict. Are you a possessive wife? Taikaha.
Fine, do as you please. This kind of exchange is not something that happens once or twice. In the end, they ended up making me look bad. And so our marital relations were, to put it mildly, the worst. I was thinking that if I keep this up, I'll probably end up with a divorce. If I get divorced, I will lose half of my property that I've worked so hard to save. Because he probably doesn't have a penny in savings. I didn't like that. One day, my husband took a paid day off. I was coming to work as a matter of course, and I approached my husband before I left. Don't you have to go to work today?
Yeah, I'm going to be at home today working on a new product plan.
I see.
What, you got something to complain about?
No, nothing. I'm off then.
And so,
I looked back a bit as I walked out the front door. Today, in front of the president, executives, and my husband's team, I had to give a presentation on a facial device that is still under development. What is the target audience looking for? In what colors are the products popular? How can we make it easy for them to use? These marketing results are then passed on to the people in the product development department. The people in the product development department use this as a basis and repeatedly make prototypes of new products based on them. So this is a very important meeting. But on such a day, is he going to get paid because he wants to plan a new product? To begin with, our company also allows us to work from home.
To begin with, our company also allows us to work from home. But if you work from home, it is not a paid holiday. So my husband just skipped out on this one. Well, he is a guy with a reputation of not being able to do his job. It wouldn't hurt the people in the product development department if he were gone. I headed to the office without thinking much. Then, right before the presentation, I was in a great rush. Oh no, Sophie. I left my tablet at home. Sophie is my subordinate and my most reliable right-hand woman.
Why, it's Shipperbonder! Jesus, man, Hippery Breaster. Unusual.
When I called my husband, he hangs up on me after a few calls. Oh my god. I really don't know what to do.
Is there any data left on your phone?
I remembered with a huff. I remembered that I had data on my phone as well, just in case. I hurriedly checked the files and found that they had been backed up. I was relieved. I said to myself, good, I can do this. This will work. Let's hurry.
No, we're knocking snot. And really?
I made the mistake of forgetting my tablet at home. I'm so glad that the data is still on my phone. I projected my phone onto the conference room screen and began my presentation. The presentation was proceeding smoothly as planned, and it was about halfway through. My phone rings. Oh, I'm sorry. I am terribly sorry. I was in such a hurry that I forgot to turn off the notifications on my phone. A notification showing an incoming video call from my husband is projected on a large screen. This video call, even though he may call on rare occasions to run an errand, he never does a video call. Maybe he had it in his pocket and accidentally pushed it. Maybe it was on the bed and some part of it touched him while he was sleeping. I was about to press the reject button right away, but I mistakenly pressed the call button. Sheesh. I shouldn't have panicked there. My phone dropped with a clunk when I was about to pick it up. I kicked it with my toes, girl. And even worse luck, it went under a locker set up in the corner of the conference room. Go away. The lockers are anchored to the wall, and the gap between the lockers and the floor is about less than half an inch. No matter how hard you try, you can't get adult woman's arm into it. I'm sorry. Sophie. I asked Sophie to help me, and she rushed out of the conference room. I am truly sorry for the disturbance. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to turn off the screen for now and proceed with the meeting using the materials at hand. I said so while apologizing to everyone. There is something wrong. The president, the executives, and everyone in the product development are staring at the screen with a blank expression on their faces. He stares at the screen with a blank expression on his face.
He stares at the screen with a blank expression on his face. So I turned around and looked at the screen too. I was crestfallen. There was my husband with his upper body naked and his chest barely visible under the blanket. My sister is clearly not wearing any clothes. Although the act is not being done, there was a sweet atmosphere between them, and it was clearly after the fact. I can't see my husband's expression from this angle though. He pats my sister's head gently, and she seemed to swoon.
Mason, are you sure it's okay? We're doing this. You had an important meeting today, didn't you?
She smirks as she says this.
Because I have to listen to her presentation the whole time, you know. She's a woman, and she stands in front of me like some kind of big shot. I don't want to see it. Hey, do you like me more than my sister? I only love you. You're younger, prettier, more honest, and just the best. She's a woman who's not cute and whose job was all she had to show. Yesterday she came home from work and made, what do you think? I'm Carrie. I've been waiting for her since 6:00 p.m. hungry as a clam. She should have at least bought some pasta and let me eat it. Oh no, she can only cook curry.
The people in the product development department were abuzz at my husband's words. Hey, you're skipping out. No, you make it. Oh, hurry's not enough, you know. I hear him say. Then I came to myself and turned to the president. President, I'm terribly sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt your meeting. I'll turn it off right now. The president said, No, somebody go ahead and record this. Well, if you don't want to see any more of it. I don't mind you stopping it. He said, Mr. President, so look what he's doing, instead of attending an important meeting. Seeing him like this, I'm pretty angry.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll record it for you. It was the head of the product development department who came forward. I'm sorry to say this in front of you, Luna, but recently, he hasn't been able to work at all. No, it's not that he can't do it, it's that he doesn't do it at all. Maybe he'll reveal something, and then there was the demeaning remark about you, his wife, and I didn't really like it. It's a good idea to take pictures, so you have something to work with later on. Yes, Luna, a man like that, for the most part. I always thought he was not good for you. If you want me to keep recording, that means you don't have any more love for him, right? This is cheating in the highest degree. Use this evidence for divorce.
I was surprised to hear even the president say so. I thought my husband had a good reputation as a person, if not professionally, and that I wasn't well received.
The people who care for me are looking at me. This fact warms my heart. Excuse me, my husband is in the video and he won't stop bad-mouthing me.
You know, the other day, I asked her to iron my shirt. I'm going on a business trip for 2 nights and 3 days, so I can't do that during this time. Can you take it to the cleaners?
She's been bragging about her business trip. She wants to show off how good she is at her job.
You know, she should iron a week's worth of clothes at a time. Though every day, she says she doesn't have time and only does her share of the day's ironing. She can't do the job because she just got to be the head of the department. I mean, it's a piece of cake to be the department head.
Oh, so you're greater than the head of the department?
Oh yeah, maybe one day I'll be the president or something.
As you can imagine, I was struggling to hold back my laughter at this time. A few in the product development department couldn't contain themselves and blew up. The president still has a straight face, and it's scary.
My husband continues to badmouth me. And Luna is terrible. I do 2 nights in a row. I had ready-to-eat food for dinner.
Ew, that's awful.
Oh yeah, and she was going to be late because of some meeting or something, and she came over at 11 p.m. I was so good for waiting for dinner until then, aren't I? But she said she just finished dinner at the office. She didn't prepare any dinner for me. I was furious. I've got to show her who's the master of the house. As soon as she got back, I sent her running to the convenience store. I told her to go get food. She said she'd do the same thing the next day, so the next day I made her run to the store again.
Damn, you're so strong.
Right.
The people in the product development department were appalled by this. They said, "What? Mason, you're the worst. You can't do your job and you're incompetent at home." I don't know how Luna endured that. It's been a struggle, how Luna. The president said to me, and I said yes. All I could do was laugh. At that time, I'd already made up my mind to get a divorce. If I could get this much footage, it would be quite advantageous for the divorce, but I can't let this stop my meeting from going any further. It's about time. It's okay. The video is already. My words were interrupted by my sister's high-pitched voice.
So, Miss N, you were saying something the other day. Your company's Nano or something. They're making a new skincare device, you said. You told me to keep it a secret, but you said you'd share something special with me. Will, I told my friends about it, and they want one too. Can you give me another pre-launch prototype?
I'm in the product development department, I'll bring you as many prototypes as you want.
Everyone in the conference room froze. I could feel a single bead of cold sweat trickling down my spine. It had already been bad a few minutes ago, but we can't let this slide. It's absolutely like a bomb. Fearfully, I looked at the faces of the president and executives, and I saw the veins on their foreheads. It's no wonder. It's still under development, and he's blabbering on about confidential information outside the company. And he's going to give them a prototype. It's unheard of. Certainly a number of prototypes can be made, but at this company, prototypes are strictly forbidden to be taken out of the company. They're stored in an appropriate place and are to be destroyed after a certain period of time. People in the product development department must not divulge outside secrets. They even have to write a pledge not to take the prototypes out of the company. What if my sister is a spy for a competitor? What if she were a stockbroker? I can't even get my head around that. I had no idea he was an incompetent human being. It was then Sophie returned with a thin stick. I brought it. Sorry, the equipment room is locked. It took me a while to find it. I'm sorry I put you through all of that. I took the stick from Sophie and finally took my own phone from under the locker.
I get you all very stubbornness you way. Is she creepy?
The president said with so much anger as if the earth was going to tremble, unable to disobey. I gave it to the president in a straightforward manner. The president picked up my phone and shouted at it loudly, "You're fired. Ever come back to this company again? Suddenly, a shout. My husband and sister are behind the screen. He got up from the bed as if with a jolt. He looks around with a furtive glance.
Yeah.
My husband realized that it was the president's voice that was coming out of his own phone. He's looking for his phone as hard as he could. My husband finally found the phone, and through the screen, he shows a surprised look on his face at seeing the president.
Why is the president on my phone?
Only me, but your wife and all the executives. All of my colleagues were shown your affair, and you had some outrageously criminal remarks.
The president then showed the entire conference room on his phone. Kan the SETR. On the screen in the conference room, the panicked face of my husband was shown in a close-up. Frankly, it's tough. The president's anger continues. How dare you blabber company information to strangers?
How dare you blabber company information to strangers? You're fired! I'm talk tomorrow, and you can wrap the 30 crazy. We'll take appropriate action regarding the information leak.
Then the muffled sound of the call meeting. The president hangs up. Before he hung up, my husband said something like after 2 or UE. He was speaking meaningless words, but I don't know anymore. I apologized sincerely to everyone in the conference room. When I said I'm sorry for extending the meeting for personal matters, everyone laughed and forgave me, saying it was all good. The president even said that he would introduce me to a good lawyer. Since then, I filed for alimony for my husband and sister, and the divorce was final. My sister was disowned by her parents. My ex-husband was charged with the company for leaking confidential information, and he was sued and fined millions. My property, which I was worried about, was protected by an excellent lawyer. Nevertheless, because I personally had considerable assets, only my condo ended up in the hands of my ex-husband. However, there's still $200,000 of the loan that hasn't been paid yet, so that leaves him nearly 20 more years. How will my ex-husband, who's unemployed now, pay for it? Looking forward to it? Sometime later, sometime then. Although I was living in a house provided by the company, I decided it was time to find my own home. I was looking at real estate information when I saw the apartment where my husband and I used to live. I laughed when I put it up for sale. The money from the sale of the condo would have been used to pay off the loan, reimburse the company, and pay me alimony. No wonder now on my phone, my ex hasn't messaged me. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Can we talk? Also, I haven't had your curry in a while, so I want to eat it in other meaningless messages. He probably doesn't even have enough money to buy food. Of course, the call was immediately rejected. I immediately erased him from the phone book as well. I'm so happy. Free from the source of stress. I'm enjoying my work now. I'm living comfortably on my own. Thanks for watching.